Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Redneck Fishing with Pappy. Today we're on a little old outlet of Broad River down here, North Carolina, South Carolina state line, just outside of Gaffney. We're going to see if we can get us some smallmouth. Broad River does hold a lot of smallmouth till you cross the North Carolina line, and then some reason or other they start showing up. We're just going to get out here. Been a long day at work. Got a couple hours in the afternoon, see what we can get into. Just had to get off the couch. Fish on. Check it out. Just a couple cast in. Come here, little buddy. Pretty little smallmouth, about, I don't know, 10, might stretch to 11 inches. Fish on.
Ooh, he got one.
Another small one.
It's a smallmouth.
Whoops. Quick release. In the water, he's gone.
Talk about your epic short material.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things about this is that I'm able to spend so much quality time with my dad. And that's really why I'm doing this. This definitely is not the most exciting thing. But it makes him happy.
I'm getting reacquainted with a bait caster. I hadn't used one in a while. I got so hung up on using open face. So I just wanted to get back to what we used to do back when we fished some bass tournaments and stuff. But today I'm using the Fluger. It's a wonderful little reel. Got a gear ratio, it's only 6.3 to 1, but still, it's fairly fast. I got that mounted on a Sigma Titanium by Shakespeare. This is a 96% graphite rod. It's got a lot of good feel. It's 6 foot, medium heavy action, which is a little bit much for these smallmouth, but that's what we grabbed and threw in the car, headed this way. I've had a little bit of time I've been spending taking out backlashes, nothing major, just a few small ones, but it's just getting back to learning how to use it again, learning to let my thumb gently ride the spool. So it's all fun and games and all a learning curve, but we're gonna keep on keeping on, see if we can't get a couple more on the bank right quick. What have I got into? Somebody's fishing line. I know it wasn't pulling back, but it was steady pulling on me.
Why the bait caster?
Bait caster, to me, I can get further distance on casting. I get back used to it again. I have easier time skipping baits up under limbs and get a little more accurate with a cast. I guess it's all according to what you get used to, but bait caster is probably one of the easiest one-handed reels to use. as far as getting accuracy and stuff. I'm using a little pumpkin seed colored Helgramite. Got him on 1/8 ounce jig head, just old football jig. Nothing fancy, just something to try. See what these fish are gonna want to do. Water's, it don't show it by surface, but there's a fairly good bit of current right here. This jig head's almost too light. Have a hard time keeping it stuck to the bottom. Dam right up there, and they got it partially open and pumping right now. This is a little runoff ditch. Broad River's actually 300-400 yards on through the woods, and they diverted it to go through this pair, and this is the runoff ditch, and it goes back into Broad River about a 1/4 mile down the road. But the fish get up in here and sit pretty good. I'd like to sit here one night and do a little catfishing. I bet there'll be some good catfish up here. Maybe that'll be another adventure for longs. Come do a little bit of smallmouth fishing and sit down and throw out some catfish baits.
I feel like he's foreshadowing a little bit. How old were you when you first started fishing that you can recall?
I truly don't remember that far back. My daddy was a man that loved to fish. He spent more time working than fishing, kind of like I've been the last couple of years. I do remember us taking trips. He loved fishing any kind, saltwater, fishing at the lake, just whatever. He was into it. But yeah, like I say, he really loved to fish. And
You think he had a favorite kind?
I don't know if he was a favorite kind or not, but I do know that he would catfish. He would, over that same limb again. There we go, it popped off.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
But he loved to catfish. He never was into bass fishing. He didn't see the concept of using artificial baits. Of course, you got to realize that's back in the 1960s. That was back when Bill Dance was a very young man. But he always thought you had to have natural bait of some sort.
So was he a worm guy?
Yeah, he liked night crawlers and stuff, but he also, would go with other baits. Then, minnows and all that kind of stuff, crickets, and cut bait, at the beach. I guess one of my first memories would be where we was fishing. I think it was Lake Wiley in Charlotte. But like any other kid, I cast out and reel in, cast out and reel in. Didn't leave a bait sitting long enough for a fish to bite it. But My bait got gone, probably from casting it off. I told him, I said, Daddy, I said, my bait's gone. Put me a worm on. He said, you can't put a worm on? I said, no, sir. He says, well, don't guess you get to fish then, do you? And that was when I learned to bait my own hook.
How old do you think you were?
Oh, that was probably 5 or 6 years old.
Was it 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after your birthday that he passed?
2 weeks before my 13th birthday.
That's coming up pretty soon.
Yep. September the 12th.
Another week. And if he was still with us, he'd be in his hundreds by now, wouldn't he?
107 if he was still alive. But if he was still alive and going, he'd show me how to catch these fish, I guarantee you.
He'd be the redneck fisherman 2.0. I bet I could tell you what he would say your problem is.
What's that?
You're using a Helgermont.
He liked Helgermats, just his would be live.
And that's what I'm saying. You're using an artificial bait.
Yeah. But it's been many years ago, 1977, when he passed. Luckily, me and my brother Ray's made up a lot of that fishing time over the years. Had a good relationship and could spend time fishing.
You and your little brother used to fish together too, didn't you?
Yeah, but he was more into carp fishing. I never liked sitting on them pay lakes that much. That gave me spend a fortune getting money put in the pots and the derbies and everything, and
So I guess what you're telling me indirectly is that fishing is a Downey family tradition.
yeah, it's been around with us for a long time. We've enjoyed it. Still do. Like I say, was at South Carolina Department of Corrections at 7 o'clock this morning. I worked my day and found time to come out this afternoon just to wind down and help recharge. Met some really nice people too, man. Fishing, you know, some of the bass tournaments we used to fish years ago, me and my brother. And we'd get to meet up with some interesting people. And just this past weekend, snuck up to the mountains just to spend a afternoon out of the house and coming back towards the house, stopped, get something cold to drink, and seen a couple kayaks on a trailer. And I'm looking at buying me a new fishing kayak, and I went over there and did some talking and met a really interesting gentleman from Kentucky who got a YouTube channel, Googan Squad.
The Salty Googan.
The Salty Googan. Googan Squad, that's the fishing baits. Duh.
Well, we'll make sure we link his channel below so y'all can check him out too.
But me and him talked for a few minutes, and he got information from my page, and I got the information from his page, and we went and subscribed to each other's channel and had a good conversation for a couple of minutes, and then went on in the store, and me and Katie bought us a cold drink and set up on the counter, and he was in line in front of us, and he went ahead and paid for a drink as well, which was, mighty nice, total stranger. You just don't meet good folks like that doing many things in life, but fishing's always been kind of a community. You got a few of these jerks that think they're fishermen. All they do is go to places and throw their trash down and leave a mess for everybody else. And doggone, I jerked it out of his mouth. He was hitting good too. But they're not fishermen. They're not sportsmen. And I don't care how much they think of themselves. You always leave a place clean and neat for the next person. Daggum, you went there to enjoy. Why do you want somebody else to go there and have to deal with your garbage and your mess? Just stupid.
But you have the same opinion about hunters that just drop animals and then leave them laying, right?
Right. I don't mind a deer hunter that's hunting trophies, as long as he's donating the meat to hunters for the hungry or something like that, then hunt them horns all you want to hunt them. But people that's just out there hunting and then they throw it down and got no use for it, leave the meat laying just so they can have them horns. Man, you ain't even in a class with a sportsman. Take your happy butt back to your house. People gotta have respect for other people.
Okay, and I gotta ask, you said you met some interesting people doing bass tournaments with Unc. Did you ever meet Bill Dance?
Never met Bill Dance. I never got into quite that big of a bass tournament. We, stuff like the county wildlife clubs, and we entered a few other kind of bass tournaments, but we never did no kind of professional. We never made it that far. I'd like to meet old Bill, especially back when I was younger and he was younger. We'd have probably put together a couple blooper reels had we met. Bill Dance was a world-class, or is a world-class fisherman. I think we waited too late in the afternoon to get over here. So much shade on the water.
If you could meet any famous person, who would it be?
Any famous person?
Any famous person.
Well, the bestest famous person ever was Jesus Christ. But I surely don't qualify for that, even though I try. So I'd say probably John Wayne. He was always one of my heroes. I think I'm in that fishing line again. See, I was able to skip that up under there. Can't quite do that with a open face. I don't know. That's a hard one to answer because when day's over and said and done, I go lay down at night. I'm really comfortable being in my skin. I've had a good life. Got to enjoy a lot of things. Got to do a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things. Now I'm getting to the age I'm forgetting a lot of things. But yeah, I'm kind of comfortable being me.
I figured you would have said Robert Downey Jr.
No, I don't need a drug addict past added to me. Life's hard enough on me.
I didn't say if you could be any famous person, who would you want to be? I said, who would you want to meet?
Oh, meat. I thought you said be.
No.
I don't know. At 61 years old, my life is a lot more simple than it used to be. It ain't about, if I'd learned to let that thumb ride, I'd be better off. It ain't about a lot of that stuff no more. Gosh, where I'm at right now, I'd like to just get together with some fellow YouTubers and, you know, John with Creek Fishing Adventures. I'd love to get together with him and fish. He seems like such a cool person. Daniel Arms. Man, thank world of Daniel Arms. I love watching his videos. Really good man and awesome work ethic about him. Salty Guggen. He seemed like such a good guy, man. There's a few minutes that we did get to talk. I'd really like to spend a day with him fishing. I bet he is a really cool guy, and he loves the salt water and stuff, same as I do, so